Matt, big congratulations, dude. I am.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud
I'm,
of.
I'm really proud of you getting on the Gamer Awards review board, and not only on the board, but you're in charge of like actually who gets through, to like Game of the Year nominations, audio design nominations. You oversee it all. This is like a really like prestigious honor.
That's why Expedition 33 has 12 nominations. You can all thank me. Yes.
Interestingly, now though, and we did spend a bit of the last podcast chatting about this. I'm not seeing Arc Raiders up there. Really, only one category.
One category, yeah.
Which was multiplayer game of the year. No audio design, no game of the year design nomination. Pretty big snub, if you ask me.
I mean, at the end of the day, these things are just, it's just for fun to praise games. But I agree. I think that it should have gotten. I would have taken out. No offense to Death Stranding 2, because I really liked it. Would have swapped that with Death Stranding 2 in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Well, and also like I like Hades too. It's fantastic. It's a really great game, but I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. Maybe it may be a nomination, but Arc. I've played the heck out of both games, Arc and Death Stranding. And
we are a bit biased, yeah. It could also be because this is rise in popularity is very recent, right?
Yeah.
It's only been within it literally came out 2 weeks before before this came out, right? And so that while recency bias is also playing a role here, I think it's also it just hasn't had a lot of time, and they had to come up with this list literally right now. So I think that might be playing a role.
Well, it sucks for them because now they're getting included in this year's game awards versus, and also the audio thing. You're like, wait. So Battlefield 6 is on the audio nomination, but not Arc Raiders. That is a huge snub. Like, I think I haven't played every game on the list, but I've certainly played Battlefield 6, and like Arc is significantly beyond Battlefield 6's audio design.
Arc Raiders audio is top tier.
Yeah.
There's very few games that come close.
Yeah.
So, yes, I would agree.
Anyway, I'm not like outraged by it, but I think it kind of hammers home some of the things we talked about last podcast, which was some of the inherent biases towards single player games in a review style system. And Arc is just like, I guess you can get nominated for multiplayer. We'll just throw you in that category and nothing else.
Which is, a good category. I think it's fine.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if it gets like the Community Choice Award or something like that too. That'd be interesting.
But
there's a lot of games.
I don't know how it's going to look, because Expedition 33 is 12 nominations. Yeah. And like best debut, it's like, of course it's gonna win best debut. Like what, all like direction, art, like it's I'm not gonna say it's gonna sweep and get all 12, but I'm gonna be very curious to see how they handle it, because it deserves a lot of them. And if it's just Expedition 33 on this podium the entire night, it's gonna be a little awkward.
This is the Titanic of games in a sense, other than when Titanic came out, it got like every award.
Oh, did it?
The movie award season. It was just like,
God,
best this, best that. I know. My references are like, do you remember when Citizen Kane came out?
Remember Titanic? You guys remember that movie?
Remember when you saw the first color TV? Hey, I'm old enough where my grandparents had black and white. I think we might have had an old black and white at some point in our house.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah. And now we're all like 240 hertz displays or 700. I think they made a 700 hertz refresh rate display. I think Asus did or somebody. You're just like, why? Who's claiming they can tell the difference?
Because you need it. It's so buttery smooth. Yeah. You can't believe it's 700.
There's only like 3 games that you would even be able to consider running at that frame rate. So it's either like, was it Valorant, Counter-Strike, and I don't know, something else?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like indie games if you wanted to, small titles.
Yeah.
With not great graphical fidelity.
Yeah, so there's like 2 games that can run at that higher frame rate, have any arguable reason to run at that frame rate, right? Where you can potentially perceive an advantage. But then on top of that, like, how many people in the world can tell the difference? Because they've had 360 hertz displays for quite a while.
Yeah.
And going from so somebody was playing on 360 hertz and been like, it's not enough. Or I think we've had 500 hertz also for a little bit, maybe. Yeah. They're like, not enough. I need 700. What? Who's saying I need that?
You don't.
This is the this is the 8K TV thing, right? When they're like, we're gonna push 8K TVs real hard, and everybody's like,
which is cool, bleeding edge technology. It's neat.
Yeah, except there's no content that is in 8K. So you go to the like the Costco or the Best Buy, and they're showing off the 8K TVs, and you're like, whoa, that looks good. Well, can I see a movie in 8K? Oh, there are no movies in 8K. We can just run this little demo reel we have of like birds landing on flowers in 8K.
And boy, does it look beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like this is a little bit of that. Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the podcast how to get back around to Ark a little bit, because it is sort of, everybody's talking about it now. It got that Eurogamer review that everybody seemed to chat about because they gave it 2 out of 5 stars. And the main premise of the 2 out of 5 stars, interestingly, because the review, I thought I did read through it, and it was fairly favorable to the game in general. It was like pretty solid game. AI voices, 2 out of 5 stars. And then you're like, wait, what? Like,
well, this is why I do my stupid bowl system, 1 through 3 bowls, because I think the whole like review of boiling a review down to a 10 out of 10 or whatever, 5 stars or whatever, all of a sudden removes all nuance. And like, if you read his review and he didn't include the stars, I don't think anyone would have mentioned this Eurogamer review. Like,
yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
At all. But because there was a score attached, all of a sudden it's a big deal.
You know what would be wild too is if he wrote that then and put in his AI voice spiel thing, which also I wasn't like totally in disagreement with too. I'm like, yeah, the industry is heading in a direction and like it's not stopping. I don't know if we can do anything about it other than just be like, it's happening again, you know. But I wonder if like an editor was like, come on, man, let's create some spice. Let's create something around this. Give it 2 out of 5.
Well, they definitely created some spice.
Yeah. So everybody's talked about the 2 out of 5 stars because most other publications are giving it like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, like really high scores.
Yeah.
And then Eurogamer's like, not us, 2 out of 5 because you're using the AI tech or whatever. And then people pointed out that other companies are using AI tech and Eurogamer is not calling them out for it. But
it's also a different reviewer, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
for sure. So it's interesting. Arc Raiders has grown for like the third. Is it the third weekend now? I think
this is the 3rd week now. Yeah,
the 3rd week in a row. It's putting in new highs, which is
it's edging closer to 500,000, which is ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah, it's getting up into this like echelon of games that you're just like, nothing hits this level of simultaneous player count. But my friends, everybody, we're hopping on and playing together all the time still. And I'm playing with people that I've never played shooters with before. You know, I've played like real-time strategy or board games with them or something. And they're like, you heard about Arc Raiders? Let's go play Arc Raiders. I'm like, you want to play Arc Raiders? I'm just hopping on with everybody now. And I'm at the point where I'm like, I actually have to force myself to stop playing it because I'm like, it's getting in the way now. I'm thinking about it. I'm like,
it's affecting my life.
What if I got that skill in life? You know, I'm dreaming about the skill, my progression tree and stuff. But it is so dang good, which again is why I'm a little annoyed about the snub for game stuff because I don't play all the games on those lists, but I play enough of them to know some of the games that are nominated. I'm like, Ark should be up there, man. It's freaking fantastic.
I have played a majority of those games, and I completely agree with you. I think it should have been nominated in many more categories. Not all of them. Like it's not an Expedition 33 in the sense that it's going to be the industry darling, but it's also got grassroots
good
of it
storytelling, which is why I thought it would bleed over more because it's a multiplayer game. But it's crafting a fun world where you're like, you're starting to learn about it.
But it isn't telling a great story yet. because
but it's leading to it, right?
It's but you can't nominate something for leading towards a good story. It's either got a good story, or doesn't have a good story.
Destiny started off with the most vague BS ever, and you're like, was that even a story?
And it also wasn't nominated for the Game Awards because of it. Like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
yeah, fair enough. It's like a live service story, so you're like, we haven't had the ending yet. In fact, so that new map came out.
We haven't really had much at the beginning either. Like, if you follow this, like the main quest and stuff like that, it's all very like, hey, we're learning about the resistance, and people had groups of people that went out and fought, against the Ark,
and then they all got killed.
And they all died, and then so it's got something there, but it's not like fully fleshed out narrative. It's more of just the world building and immersing yourself in the world.
So I will say, though, this new map that came out, Stella Montes, if I'm saying that correctly, great map. It's like an underground science rocket lab research facility. And it's clearly where they were developing stuff to go into space and do stuff in space. And the Ark come down from space. So to me, it feels like they actually are trying to roll out the narrative sequentially, like with maps and stuff, where they're like, hey, you discovered where they built all this stuff to send everything to space, and a little bit of hints of the narrative behind it. The more you get into it, the more you'll observe and sort of perceive maybe what happened or who's behind all this crazy Ark technology or whatever. So like, did they go to the moon or a different planet, and now the Ark are coming back to Earth to harvest resources and then send them back up? And that's like, we're all just like getting screwed.
We do know that they have harvesters, so they're clearly extracting some resources.
Exactly. There's a logic to it. They wouldn't just like make a thing called a harvester and then not have any narrative idea behind it. There's definitely an idea there. And I think they are going to roll it out. So I think that's fun. But yeah. So you think the new map is fantastic? I
really like it. I've had a ton of fun with it. It is early, and it's becoming more of a bloodbath. People will just spawn it. It does have issues.
When was it not a bloodbath? Did you have some chill moments?
I play a lot of solo, and so I will communicate and be like friendly, and it really kind of depends. You kind of have to feel the vibe of the people around you.
Sure.
But yeah, it really depends on who you come across, because I came across two streamers randomly, and they were both role playing, and one of them was hilarious, and I was like, I'm having a time of my life right now. It was very weird how I just stumbled across them. So you have some really great interactions, but you also have just great combat. So if you like that close quarter engagement, it is just chock full of, it's literally just all on the ground. So it's all hallways, a lot of third person camera stuff, but also means that there's a lot of places for you to duck behind, and then flanks. You become the third person guy, right? So it's got a nice balance with that. Had some amazing moments where I kept locking a guy inside of a room. He kept trying to get out, but I kept like locking it in, putting a shield down. Another person shows up. He tries to kill me. The other guy, they gang up on me. I take both of them out. It's a ton of fun. I really like. I mean, I just love Ark Raiders, but the map's cool.
It's cool that this map changes up the actual gameplay so significantly, because the other maps are like, you're listening for stuff in the distance in the forest or something. You're like, oh, I think I heard a guy breach into a thing in the forest somewhere. Okay, let's creep through the bushes and find him. This one's just like hallways and clanking everywhere, and you're just like, oh, there's gunshots, but they could be 3 floors up or down the hall to the left. I don't know. I can't tell. It's all very chaotic. And then there's like 1,000 flanking routes. It's quite literally a maze. I've gotten lost in it.
It is very mazy. Yes. My biggest critique of it right now is the spawns. I haven't encountered it myself, but I have noticed that people are getting shot literally on spawn.
Yeah. So it's happened to me, and I've done it to people unintentionally, where spawn, walk out, like, look around.
There's a dude there.
I'll spawn, walk out, hear some gunfire, kind of creep towards it a little bit. Maybe they run away or whatever. I would go, oh, okay, that's fine. Hear footsteps behind me. Guy just comes out of my exact spawn. I shoot him, and then on comms, he's like, what the hell, man? I just spawned. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, this sucks. It sucks for everyone. I don't want to get shot in the back, and you don't want to get shot coming out of spawn. Like, we got to fix these. But yeah,
I agree. I had a similar moment where, now that I'm thinking about it, I spawned in right at this beginning, right at the beginning. I step out of spawn, and then there's another dude that goes right next to me. I'm like, where did you, we didn't kill each other, but I was like, where did the hell did you come from? He was like, oh, I spawned. I was like, what do you mean you just spawned? Yeah. It's the beginning of the round. We're right next to each other. He's like, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So yes, I think they're gonna have to dial that in, either reduce the amount of spawns at the start, or move the map around a little bit so that they're a little safer. I don't know, but
I had a guy literally camping the door to exit my spawn with a Venator 4, mind you. This wasn't like some free kit scrub that was just like, I'm going to try this. This was some tried and true professional that was like, I'm going to come in with the best kit and just end people as they come out of the spawn. And I was like,
it feels like it's not recognizing when there's players nearby the spawn, and it's just plopping you wherever.
It's really weird because that's should not be a hard thing to make sure doesn't happen. It really shouldn't be. It seems like for the most part it works on the other maps, but I like the new map. It brings something new. Its spawns are problematic. The combat is very chaotic. I like it, but I think I've been third-partied on that map more.
You will get third-partied left, right, and center.
Yes,
it is
more than the rest of the game combined up until playing this map. I'm like, I think we've gotten third-partied like 4 games in a row. This is insane.
Yeah, when I ambush someone, I will immediately just punch them, and I won't say a word, because if I start talking, other people can be like, "Oh, what's going on down there? Where are you?" Because they can pinpoint based off of your voice, right? Like it's directional, which is nuts. And just speaking back to the audio, it's so good that people will be like, "Oh, I know where they are now," because of your voice comms, right? So yeah, you have to be pretty sneaky and pick your targets well.
The funniest thing is when you down somebody and they start shouting out and they're like, "Hey, he's over there!
He's over there!
Get him!
Take him out!"
He's by the thing." And you're like, "Shut up, man! Shut up!
shut the hell up! Go back to Speranza, boy!"
So game's doing insanely well. The new progression system, or what do you call it?
It's a new progression. It's like a battle pass, but it's free. It's nice. It gives you a bunch of currency, a couple of items here and there. Like I said, it's free. So it's just more. It's just an event, and it's not bad.
So I think this one's going to be free, and then they mentioned down the road that some of their next seasonal stuff, they'll have a free tier and a paid tier, like pretty common for live service.
Which is to be expected. Yeah. And I don't mind them doing it this way. I still think that they had a lot of cosmetics that would have been nice to be unlockable for your $40 because you bought the game, and to have them just I wouldn't say filled, but there's a fair amount of cosmetics where it's like, people paid for this game. Yeah. And you have all these cosmetics that are paid, but I can look past it because they have rolled out a lot of free content since the update. So,
and having completed sort of the first battle pass and now the second sort of progression tree thing that they add, it's given you enough currency where I think I could buy 3 or 4 different cosmetic outfits with just the $40 purchase plus the additional stuff that I've earned through the battle pass stuff. So it's not too bad.
You get the deluxe edition? Because I don't think you can get that many.
Oh yeah, I must have gotten the deluxe. So the deluxe I think gives you like 2,000 in currency or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm having a blast with it. I'm forcibly making myself stop play it for a bit because I've done the project.
It's just that good.
It's so dang good. I just want to hop in and play it all the time. And I'm hoping that like when I haven't hit max rank yet, but I'm hoping that when I do, I'll just be like, maybe I can like chill for a bit, and then they're probably going to like launch new content. I'll be like, oh, I got to play the new content. Yeah. Can't stop playing it though. And I haven't been this addicted to a game for quite a while. So huge on them. Are you going to buy a Gabe cube, Matt?
We'll see. I would say I'm more interested in something like the Steam frame. Yeah. That one looks pretty slick. That one looks pretty cool. I'm interested to see how they price these products because I think they announced 3 things. And if it's reasonable, having something that's next to your, main TV or entertainment system and replace your console with basically a PC that is super small form factor sounds appealing.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, if you haven't heard the news, but you probably have heard the news a little bit, is that Valve announced 3 pieces of hardware. There's the new Steam machines. Was there a name for the Steam machine? I forgot.
I think it's called Steam Machine.
Steam machine. Okay. But I'm trying to, somebody said Gabe Cube in the trailer, and I was just like,
because it's just funny.
I'm like, that's perfect. It's perfect. It's the Gabe
perfect,
Cube.
But it's not what they're calling it.
No, but we should call it the Gabe Cube from now on, because it's a cube and it looks like half of an Xbox, basically.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And so it's essentially a PC running their Steam OS, which is a Linux. It's a Proton operating system, and it's gonna have a bunch of cool quality of life features to make it operate like a media console and a standard console. Wake up with your TV or turn on power on your TV, have all those kinds of interconnectivity with your TV and stuff. So and it's going to be 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck hardware wise, whatever that means. Maybe not. And so, yeah, if the pricing, like you said, is good, where if it's like in the 400 to 500 range, I think we got like a smash hit on our hands.
I don't think it's gonna be 400. I feel like 400 is on the That's on the very optimistic side of things.
Yes,
you know?
I agree. Some of the hardware I think is just gonna run more than that. And a lot of consoles sell at a loss because they know of how much they're gonna make on the market. It'd be interesting to see if Steam was willing to do that too, because obviously you're gonna buy your games through Steam. So they're going to take a 30% cut if you buy the hardware anyway. So it's like, sell it at a loss, guys. If you can hit that $400 or $500 mark and make this a huge competitor for consoles, that's why this is kind of a big deal, because the Steam machine is not really new, but the idea of them figuring out how to make the Steam machine that people will buy is kind of new. The first attempt it was not ready. It was a little half baked. But this attempt could do it, and it's coming with the new Steam controller. I liked the original Steam controller. I thought it was a really solid controller idea, and this one is basically building off of all the tech that they've developed for the Steam Deck as well.
Looks very bulky though. If I had one surprise, it looks very large.
I'll reserve judgment till I hold it, because I like large Xbox controllers. Those have always been my favorite. Like, I just find the grip to be more pleasing than like a PlayStation controller. But we'll see how the Steam controller comes out or holds up. I really like the first one, so I think the second one could be extremely dope. But I feel like this could be we've been waiting for Microsoft to make their transitionary console / PC product, because they have Windows.
They have Windows.
Xbox.
Yeah. You'd assume that this would be easy. Yeah.
They've been twiddling their thumbs on this since the Xbox came out, basically, and just not figuring out how to do it. And I think Valve has a better chance of doing this. And if they do, it could be the transition away from console development to, like, if everybody's running essentially a PC that runs Linux instead, it could be massive for Linux development, which has never really come through to mainstream. In a large part, it needs something like gaming to come to it. So this could be huge for Linux development and actually get people away from having to use Windows for everything, or Mac OS, or whatever you use.
It's highly optimistic. I doubt it, but
I don't think we would see that in the next year or so, but this could be the catalyst. It's sort of like,
could be,
when you partner a technology with a product that people really want, So if you say, hey, all your games run on Linux, great. Now people are excited to use Linux, and it doesn't cost anything, and you don't have all this extra Microsoft bloat on top of it. So, you can get around it. Your system doesn't update without asking you for permission. Which, I don't know why this is a thing in Windows all of a sudden, but they're just like, we'll update it for you. Don't worry about it. And you're like, why does my system look different all of a sudden? Oh, you updated it for me. Thanks, guys. You have to go into your settings and uncheck a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure it doesn't do that.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm excited for this. I do think it's it won't be an overnight sensation. I doubt it. But with the success of the Steam Deck, I think they've really set themselves up to build a much bigger hardware side of things, and we'll see. I both like Steam and am scared of Steam continuing their monopoly on games.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I love all the stuff they're doing aside from that whole monopoly where they charge 30% on everything. Eventually Epic will set their sights on Steam and then we'll see what happens because they've been going after all the big companies and winning the lawsuits. And
I see what you're saying. I was like, I think they already did set their sights on them with the Epic launcher, and a lot of people don't want to use it.
Yeah, no, I think they're now going on an angle of like, they didn't want Apple to take so much of their Fortnite money because Apple's just like, yeah, it's on an iPhone, so we get 30% of all your revenue or more or whatever it was. And they sued them, and now they're winning, at least in UK and other places like that. So if they see success and they sort of develop a game plan on that, I think they might go after other platforms too. They go, hey, like this isn't fair. This is monopolistic. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. You played the new COD of Duty, I hear.
I did. And what an experience, Level Cap. I played the campaign, only the campaign. Played the beta for multiplayer and zombies.
Okay, so you didn't try the multiplayer.
I've only played for one night. And I gotta say, their announcement that this is the biggest Black Ops ever, they were not kidding. It's big. And by big, I mean you fight giants.
Oh, yes, I have seen the clip.
In the campaign, yeah.
I was wondering where you're going with this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going with it either until I reeled it in.
Yeah.
So it is one of the worst Call of Duty campaigns in a while.
Wow.
It was bad. It felt like, so to lay the groundwork, the story begins. I'm going to have some spoilers here, and I'm not going to apologize for it because I'm just not. The premise of the game is you are this task, like you're basically this elite task force, right? Going in and trying to stop the Guild, which is like a big organization that's trying to destroy everybody, right? Yeah. And they have these neural links, this some sort of technology that allows them to communicate through their mind and stuff like that somehow. Who knows, right?
Okay.
They get this toxin into their system that causes them to hallucinate. And they all hallucinate the same hallucination. And so because of this allows the developers to add in...
Like what's that? Is this a Kojima game? Did he write the story?
It gets so silly. So it starts off, standard Call of Duty. You're shooting baddies and whatnot. But then it turns into, you're going to start hallucinating and you fight bosses. So you get teleported to this land in Cuba where it looks like Cuba, but it's kind of like a dream state where you're jumping from island to island, kind of floating around. You fight a boss who throws giant machetes from the sky onto the ground that does like a lot of damage to you. And then you start throwing them at him. There's another boss where it is a giant flower from like Resident Evil. You saw the giants that you fight in the game. It's all of that stuff, right? You fight zombies, and it's
exactly what every Call of Duty fan wants.
Right.
A fever dream boss sequence. Yeah.
I kind of get where they're coming from because they're thinking, okay, we got to mix this up. We got to change things up. We've been doing the same thing where you're going through streets and shooting at guys, and you can't do. There's only so much you can do in first-person shooters. Yeah. And it's the reason why when I play a first-person shooter campaign, I like something like Doom, because Doom gives you so much more freedom to express yourself gameplay compared to something like a Call of Duty or Battlefield. Because Battlefield, you're in COD, you're shooting and then you're duck behind cover and you're shooting and you're duck behind cover. It's really boring, right? It gets boring. So I get why they tried to do this, but man, the execution was just not there at all. Everything's a bullet sponge. Like you are literally putting like 16-round magazines into like a guy and they'll still be alive, right? And like they're mechs and there's like robots and stuff like that. So I guess it kind of makes sense in some context, but it's not fun. Just
sure.
There's one guy who's called, what was he, like a Titan, and he has a minigun, and you're like, oh man, this guy's gonna kick my ass if I stay out in the. He doesn't. like the minigun kind of tickles you a little bit, and you're like, what is even going on with this?
It's an airsoft minigun, Matt.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and yeah. So the combat's not great. I get what it was interesting to have zombies and a wide array of enemies to fight, but man, it just doesn't really work. And that doesn't even get to the narrative where it is all over the place with its like themes and storytelling. It tries to go back and give like nostalgia because it's talking about like, you know, Mason, what do the numbers mean kind of vibe, right? Like I believe you're Mason's son and you're going through like the past and stuff like that. But it keeps mentioning, because you're hallucinating, you're supposed to talk to these people like they are those people, but they're not. They're in a hallucination of your mind. So it's all memories, but if they don't act like they're memories.
Yeah, I'll say this here. I don't think I've enjoyed a dream sequence in any video game ever. I'll even say like Max Payne. It was my least favorite part of Max Payne is when he's in this dream sequence, like running through stupid rooms.
I never liked dream sequences either. Yeah,
I think they suck in video games, and it's always in a video game where it's like, here's a cool actiony video game, and then you're like, oh, now you're under the hallucinations of whatever drug that you just came into contact with, and now you're fighting clowns and giant flowers or whatever, and you're like, this is not what I got the game for. I don't want to do this. This is stupid.
What's bizarre is that so when you hallucinate, they will be doing things, right? Shooting at stuff. And then once they're done hallucinating, they'll pop up somewhere else in the world. And I'm like, does that mean they were just shooting people? Like, are we the bad guys? Where there's like, were they civilians?
Yeah,
like,
you wake up and you're like, you murdered a city. And you're like,
yeah,
what?
It's like, well, who are they shooting at, right? And where are they traveling to? And how did they get there? So it's really disjointed. There's also a lot of padding. You can clearly tell that they had big set pieces, and they can be really fun because it's a dream state. You're like traveling through a city where like the roads are upside down, and you know it's kind of neat. Like there was some neat set pieces, but then there's a bunch of missions where it just plops you into an open world, like a war zone, like genuinely a war zone, like the map, and you just can run there. You don't have to fight anyone. You just go to your objective and just complete your objective. And so you'll fight a boss around a gas station and you're like, this is not great, right? Like you're just fighting in an open field or a gas station nowhere. And like, this just feels super tacked on. And I think it was, they didn't have enough of the big story beats and the you know, cinematic moments. And they tried to extend out the game because it took me about 5.5 hours to beat. Wow. And yeah, I was taking my time as I normally do. So you can finish it pretty quickly.
I'll give it some extra points for the short campaign because when a Call of Duty campaign takes too long and you're just like another mission where I peek out and shoot guys, like
I don't mind it being short. I don't mind it, like I'm okay, but I want what is there to be, because like I thought Black Ops 6 had a decent campaign, like really varied, really cool set pieces. It felt like they had a plan all the way through.
Yeah. We did, I've reminded you of this once, and I don't think you remembered, but we played one of the Black Ops campaigns co-op together for the first time, and like, I think halfway through, we both were like, this is pretty terrible, right? And I'm like, yep. All right, we'll just stop because it was just so bad. Like,
we'll just end it right there.
Yeah, like you've had enough of this, right? And you're like, yes, I have. And then we never played it again. And
there's one, and this is spoilery, but there's this crew that you join for one mission I'm going to spoil things. So you basically take over a different crew for one mission only, and they are fighting the guild, which is the big baddie, and you're trying to use a supercomputer of the guild, so you have to infiltrate into the guild to use their supercomputer, right? A bunch of nonsense. You destroy a yacht, you destroy like millions worth of technology and infrastructure while you're doing all this, taking out just swaths of the guild's legions, you know? You're doing tons of damage, right? You later find out, like a mission later, that, just kidding, that team that you were playing, or one of the guys in that team, was actually the mole the entire time. I'm like, why did they just destroy the guild stuff then? They just like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why he just like, we're still undercover, but we're gonna reveal ourselves like a mission later. So we technically didn't even need to do all that. Like it. The story has so many like plot. There's a moment in a dream sequence.
It is a Call of Duty story.
Where you are defending memories of your past, and it's just waves of zombies that charge at you, while little you talks to your dad in like this weird dream state, and you're like, what am I even doing right now? What even is this?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I like Call of Duty campaigns. I find them fun. This one, I was very disappointed with.
I never played the one where you get to go to space, but I was always intrigued by that one. I was like, oh,
Call of Duty Infinite,
space.
that one?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
The one where they had Jon Snow as the bad guy or something.
Yeah, I think that was Infinite, I think.
Advanced Warfare had Kevin Spacey as the bad guy. And I also, I liked that one because it was so over the top ridiculous and fun. Where like, I think you're fighting on like a giant moving base at the end of it, where he's like some giant base in the desert that's like walking or something. I can't even remember what it was. And then you're like fighting on it and you're like, this is insane. It's James Bond times 10 level absurdity. And I kind of love it.
Yeah. I do like Call of Duty campaigns. They're maybe guilty pleasure, what have you. It's fun to watch a B movie every once in a while, right? Like it can be enjoyable. They're just fun
and the
for what they are.
Furious of the gaming world.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece to find enjoyment out of it. This one, like from the gameplay, I get what they were trying to do with the variety of the hallucinations, but it just doesn't work with the story. It like tons of bullet sponge.
So no multiplayer. You haven't played.
I didn't touch the multiplayer yet. I probably will get to it at some point. I've heard good things about multiplayer in zombies. Okay. I've heard that aspect is good, but the campaign was not. Yeah, it's not the best.
That's the only thing I've heard about it too, is the campaign being bad. And then of course all the social media posts pointing at how poorly it's doing compared to Battlefield and Ark. And then the big battle between Battlefield and Ark, which is silly.
Yeah.
Both games are doing well is the thing. Both games are actually doing really well. If Ark Raiders wasn't around, people would be like, wow, look at Battlefield's numbers. They're fantastic. Compared to any prior launch, it's doing incredibly well. Ark is doing even better, which is fantastic also. Glad two of my favorite games
There's a weird culture of comparing games and their success for some reason, as if you need to pick a team and like cheer on one team while I don't know why this happens so much.
It's annoying because I do find stats and data interesting, but I'm not going to put it out there and be like, look how bad this game's doing or
but it feels like that's what there's a subset of a community or what have you that is cheering on games just to fail, right? They're like, see, I was right all along. See how it's failing? It's like, okay, I guess, sure.
I think some of that's sort of like the core fighting against the man mentality, right? Because so many of the games are big. So they're like, haha, the big studio's failing, haha. Right. And then you're like, yeah, but you're buying all their games. So, I mean, like, do you want good games or you want bad games? Like, you should...
Right.
She wanted to do well, but I think part of it is like they didn't do a good job and therefore they're failing, so they get what they deserve, and so that's like what I think a lot of people think. I listened to a podcast, actually, not a podcast, an interview with why can't I remember his name now? The CEO of Embark Studios. He used to be DICE CEO or one of their managers at DICE.
Okay.
David Sutherland, I think is his name. And it was interesting. He was being a little vague with how they succeeded with their games in terms of like, he said like they developed tools to like be efficient on a level well beyond any other studio. And that if a different studio had made Ark Raiders, it would have cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. And we did it for like a fraction of the cost and all this stuff.
How then?
Yes. So he's being a bit vague. He was talking about like building special tools and pipelines to optimize their workflow. And I was chatting about it with one of my game dev friends, and we're like, so like every studio does that. So that doesn't really narrow it down. Like, oh, you built specific tools to optimize your workflow. You mean every other game dev studio on the, I do it, and we have a team of like 2 people. You know, we still build tools for stuff. It's like every dev is going to do it. I was reading between the lines. So Embark has 4 games technically, right? They're working on 2, and they have 2 that have come out. They've got the finals, Arc Raiders, and then 2 unannounced games. Here's my theory, and we'll see if it plays out. Okay. I could be totally wrong on this, and I'll eat my words if the announced games totally break this theory. But my theory is that they are developing 4 shooter games that all share similar mechanics of like, you're running around, you're jumping on stuff, you're mantling, you're exploring a space and shooting at things. And thus, all the tools we have developed can be shared, and we don't have to redevelop that technology across all 4 games.
It's a good theory.
Which is pretty smart. I mean, it's the whole point of making a sequel, and even indie studios are doing this now where they're like, hey, we've built all the tools to make this one game, and we could just make a game kind of like it and just make it a roguelite version of it. And now we save all this money on dev costs. So it's smart.
I would argue, though, that the finals and Arc Raiders don't really share too many similarities.
I would counter that argument other than the first person and third person stuff. They've already shown that cosmetics are transitioning between the 2 games, which I would guess means that they're probably using the same character and animation system, and they've just have one that's first person and one that's third person, you know? Because the secret is any first person game still needs a full-fledged third person animation system in case somebody else sees you move. You still have to look good. So that all has to exist in a first person game anyway. So I would just say like and it's all in the same engine.
I'm sure that there's crossover, but like no destruction. There's no real buildings that look anywhere similar. Like so I'm not really reusing assets in that respect. Like gunplay feels very different. Third person versus first person gunplay feels very different.
Right.
So I hear you. I do think there is crossover, but I don't think that there is a massive, Arc Raiders in the finals feel very different in terms of.
And maybe I'm not being clear, or maybe like the nuances of it are harder to say. So like you could take the exact same gunplay system, like they sell a gun plugin for Unreal that you could buy on the asset store.
Yeah.
Put it in your game, and then I can tweak my numbers so it feels like Battlefield, and you can tweak your numbers so it feels like...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you could have the same system with all the code and underlying stuff built the way you like, and then just change the numbers, and people will be like, oh, this feels totally different. And it could feel totally different because you're just tweaking the underlying numbers and mechanics, but ultimately it's running through the exact same system and hardware. So like if they're developing all this cool Unreal Engine tech, you can just transition it to the next game. Now, if they launch a game that's like, here's a RTS or something, then I'll eat my words, right? Like theory's totally wrong.
No, I think you are onto something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see what they're doing. Some people are hoping that they make like a Battlefield style game, large open world Battlefield kind of vibe. And it was like, it's DICE devs. Why not, right? You know, why not compete with DICE? That'd be cool.
It's going to be a card game. I'm going to look like an idiot.
It's going to be a card game. You got it. You nailed it.
The finals competitive card game. Whoa, get your favorite finals
They're
characters.
On a roll. I don't think that would be the right direction, and many people would be on board with it, but they're becoming a developer that people are keeping their eye on now.
I mean, they got one of the most popular games in the world right now. So everybody's got
I'm really curious how it performs long term.
Yeah, so am I, because I'm definitely nearing the end of the content in the game, like almost max level. I'm just pushing through the final missions just because they're there. I'm not, I don't enjoy them. I think the missions kind of suck, but it's still good. The gameplay's so good that I'm like, well, I'll just go in and run a mission. If something crazy happens, then I'll do that. And it's 50-50 basically, where I'm like, either the mission goes off perfectly and then I just extract, or I'm on my way to the mission and then just get caught up in some crazy adventure. And that's the fun, you know? So
yeah,
it's fine in that sense. You don't need a great mission. You're just like the gameplay itself transforms it. But yeah, I'm glued to them for any announcement down the road, and of course their continued support of Arc Raiders. I can only imagine the game getting significantly better as they refine skill trees, weapon stuff. Tired of getting killed by the Venator 4. It's just not. I had a corner firefight in CQB with another guy. I had a fully maxed out Toro shotgun. Choke, level 4, extended mag, all the crap. He corners me with a Venator 4. I put one shot perfectly center mass on him with the shotgun, and before I can pump action to get the second shot,
you can't get the second shot off. Yeah,
I'm dead, and I'm like, okay. A pistol, a rapid fire pistol, mind you. This is not a Magnum or a Deagle. This is a rapid fire. I don't know. The mag is like 15, something. It
fires 2 shots.
Yeah, at once.
But it doesn't take the 2 bullets, which is weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. So you just get out damaged by a pistol in CQB with a shotgun. I'm like, okay, man. Like, why am I even bringing a shotgun to a freaking pistol fight at this point? Like, it's insane.
Yeah. I agree.
That needs to be handled a bit. There's a bunch of stuff in the game like that right now where you're like, I'm dead. I'm not even missing my shots. All of my shots are on point. I'll watch some of my deaths back in slow-mo. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, other than like leaping around like a maniac to try and avoid incoming fire, you just can't win a firefight even if your shots are all perfectly on target. You're like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely guns if you use them in the right circumstance where you're like you just have the advantage. I was running the Torrente on Stella Montes, and I knew that if I was up close and there was a guy around the corner, I didn't care if they had a shotgun, I didn't care if they had a Stitcher, I could run that corner and there was nothing that they could do about it, right? And they couldn't, like they just died because my weapon outperformed them, right?
Mm-hmm. It is fun when somebody tries to gank you and you gank them instead,
oh my god, it is the sweetest of satisfaction.
And then when they're down but not out, and you're just like, just freaking sit there and think about what you did, you know?
Yeah.
I was picking some freaking, what's that plant that gives you the medicine? The mullein or something?
Yeah, mullein.
Mullein. So I was picking some mullein and a dude shot me with an anvil from like 20 feet away from behind, and like I dodge roll and I 2-shot him because you can 2-shot with that gun if you hit him in the head each time, and put him down, and I had like a sliver of health left, and he's just like sitting there like, man, you shot me in the back while I was picking flowers, bro, and I just ended you. Like, how do you feel right now?
Yep.
It's just like this moment you're like,
that's the high you're looking for though in those games, right? Is where it gets randy real quick, and then you're able to pull it around on them. I feel like a lot of the people, especially extract campers, they aren't the best player. You do come across people that are just they're good regardless of where they are. Yeah. But they're looking for an easy kill because they may not be as good at in a fair fight. So if you're able to recognize that they're a little shady, and if as long as they don't just 1-tap you or 2-tap you. You can usually start. You can pull it around because they're just not the best players.
Yep. That you'll know the extract I'm talking about, but the one on Buried City where you have to zip line down a hole in the ground.
Yep.
The amount of extract campers that love that spot in particular, I'm just like, you did. So I know you can go down it now in a more intelligent way, and you can get them if they're camping there. But boy, if you run a night raid on Buried City, just like guaranteed extract campers at that point.
I will wait for the train to come, and then I'll listen to hear it go, and I'll be like, okay, it's probably clear. I'll still be careful when I'm, making my way down, but I'll usually wait for someone to go activate, hear the train leave, and then go down myself. Yeah. Because it's much more likely that there's not someone camping it.
Yeah. We were playing trios, and we heard a team go down and just like get absolutely massacred. So we're like, okay, people are extract cramping, and that's the only place to get out. So you can push down level by level and kind of circle around the hole and look to where they are, and then we just fragged the heck out of them and got them out of position, and then got down there and got them. But you kind of have to know, and if you run down there and you're like, haven't heard anything in like 5 minutes, I'll just go. Then you're just like dropping 3 dudes with auto shotguns that just decimate you.
They can also have traps down there too, so if you plop down, you just hit a trap and
Yeah, dude, there's actually some of the traps are a little too powerful, I think, where I've been doing a thing where if you go up the dam control tower, I mean, this could be any tower, but any tower that has one point of entry with a zip going up, you can put your electric mine, jolt mine, and then you can put a fire burning grenade right on it, basically. Mm-hmm. And you can place it so that they can't avoid the fire grenade as they come off the zip line. So they'll get shocked and on fire. And so you can down somebody without even being there. And just like, how is there not like some sort of way to prevent this type of stuff?
Well, you could use a showstopper too. I think the showstopper is an EMP according to some people that I've played with, and that will destroy the gadgets. But yeah, especially there are parts of the map that I feel like could be less choke pointy. That one in particular, it's like you go up there and you're committed, and good luck getting down, right? And so I agree.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think the map design is fantastic, but there are a couple of choke points where I'm like, really? There's only one way up and down, only one.
Yeah.
It seems problematic.
Yeah. The single entry point ones are tricky, but I do like, man, once you get a zip line and you start playing around with those, I was playing with a buddy who's much better than me, and he zipped up onto one of those guard towers on Spaceport. You know, the popular guard towers that usually have a weapon crate or something up there.
Yeah.
Everybody fights over them. We zipped up onto the roof, and then simultaneously you edge towards the side. If you drop, you can grab the lip on the outside of the top of the guard tower, and then
flank them.
Yeah, and then flank them. We see 2 guys looking down an elevator shaft and just absolutely waste them. You're like,
that's awesome.
Oh, that was cool, man. Yeah, so you can do some fun stuff. Yeah. It's kind of turning into a movement game, I've noticed. I don't know if you've seen the movement
clips.
Hope
it doesn't, but I do think you're right. I've seen people sliding and jumping and switching between shotguns, and I don't want that, but it could turn into that.
I was watching a guy play, and like his whole thing was, I'm just going to have a stack of adrenaline pens, you know, and he was smart about it. He injects them, and then he's like, now look, I can dodge and roll and slide. I can do a leap roll endlessly in any direction. And he's throwing smokes and stuff. And so like, he'll like get into a fight, and some guy starts beaming him down with some sort of automatic weapon, and he like leaps a couple of times, and the guy's like out of ammo, goes for the reload, and then he just headshots him with something. I'm like, that's right. Nobody plays like this because you're out of stamina after a couple of these rolls. But if you have unlimited stamina, all of a sudden you're just like, I'm gonna hit it, because you do this roll, you can slide and then dodge in the opposite direction with no transition time. So you can go like ping pong ball back and forth, and it looks absolutely nuts. And you can't do it in normal gameplay unless you have an adrenaline syringe, and then you can just burn out your adrenaline like crazy. So I kind of hope that doesn't become the meta, because it is a little bit too crazy, but there's definitely people that are like,
I don't want every game to become a movement shooter. And the reason why Ark, I feel like, has been so fun and organic is because for most players, it's not that. And God, I would hate for it to turn into it. I agree.
Yeah. And I mostly just, if it gets that good and everybody gets that sweaty, it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna be having fun anymore. I'm gonna be like, do I gotta bring a stack of adrenaline things too and jump around like a maniac every time I want to play? I like this creeping through the bushes and like sneaking up on people. Like it's a vibe. I don't want to be the like sprinting everywhere vibe. Yeah. Did you see there's some more news on the Subnautica Crafton lawsuit thing?
No, I have not.
It's not looking good for Crafton. Let me just put it this way. Now, they're still in legal proceedings, so none of what they've said here is now like proven, I guess, but they've
It's not proven.
Well, when you release like basically logs of stuff and evidence.
This sounded funny. You're good. Keep going.
Yeah. Right. So they're doing legal proceedings and they're producing evidence to be like, hey, these guys screwed us over, and they were planning to from the start. So the whole story with Subnautica 2 and Krafton is like, Krafton bought the studio behind Subnautica to make Subnautica 2. Part of the deal was that they were going to get this $250 million bonus for like the executives if they shipped the game on time. Then Krafton fired the executives and were like, you don't get a bonus. Oh, and yeah, we fired you because you guys were delaying the game and all this stuff. And there's basically no evidence to suggest that. And they like cited some weird stuff about them being like into a movie project or something and neglecting game design duties. But now they're saying, now that they're getting evidence and throwing it out there and we all get to hear about it, apparently there was like a team on allegedly, there was a team on Krafton that were basically, according to their emails, being like, hey, we can't pay $250 million bonus. This is crazy. So they tried to renegotiate for like way less, and they wanted to pay. So the executives, remember how we debated about if the execs were going to keep all their money or pay their employees with their bonuses?
Yeah.
They were planning to give the employees a big ass bonus, according to the emails anyway. And then Krafton was like, now we're going to cut your bonus way down, and the employees are only going to get this tiny little bonus and all this stuff. And I guess the renegotiation didn't work because they didn't have to renegotiate. Or, you signed a deal and you're like, why would I renegotiate?
Wow. Yeah. 250 million.
Yeah.
Cough it up. Come on.
Yeah. Then there was like allegedly, they asked ChatGPT how to get out of this bonus contract situation. So apparently there's like chat logs somewhere. They like deleted the chat logs, but there was somebody alleged that they were using ChatGPT to try and figure out how to get out of it. And apparently ChatGPT was like, you're not going to be able to. Like, this is pretty airtight. So it just looks about as sleazy as you could possibly expect Krafton to be, where they're just like, oh yeah, we saw it. And it seems like they might have even from the beginning been like, this is too big of a bonus anyway. Like, we're not going to try and honor it or something. So it just looks bad, where they try to get out of a deal. They try to frame the top leaders of the company as being bad managers and that they weren't going to hit their thing. And basically the studio is backing the managers and being like, yeah, we were on track for all this stuff. And at no point ever did you indicate at any point that we were behind schedule or tell us to hurry up or any of that stuff. Like, everything was good.
Well, that's disappointing because Subnautica is one of my favorites survival games ever, and I'm super stoked for 2, and sounds like we're not going to be getting that anytime soon then.
I think it's one of the most wishlisted games on Steam right now.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which is probably why they agreed to a crazy thing like a $250 million bonus, which, for the record, you should never tie a bonus into like a release date for a product. What a disaster.
Yeah.
But now apparently firing the guys leading the project has also created a huge amount of delays and problems with development because the studio's like,
because it's the head guys. Of course it's going to cause problems.
Yeah. Huge surprise. It did. And also the people working there are like, well, do we even want to keep working on this game for this publisher that's going to like has shown that they're going to try and steal the money from us or like try and give us the smallest bonus possible?
Abide by contracts, allegedly.
Yeah. They wanted to give them like a fraction of the bonus that apparently the original execs were going to give them. Allegedly. Again, this is all like, inference based on emails and conversations, but I read some of them and they're not, they don't look good.
Not flattering.
Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting. That's too
bad to hear.
It is too bad to hear. And I would love to find a silver lining to like, oh man, no, Krafton's a good company and they did the right thing. But it's like just sleazy executive crap. It's about as sleazy as you could think it was. Yeah. Allegedly. I got to say it because it's not like a story's going to come out next week and be like, those emails were fabricated or something. I'm like, man, now I got to backtrack. But assuming those emails were not fabricated, looks pretty bad.
Yeah, I hear you.
Didn't you play? I see Dispatch in your notes. Didn't you? I thought you played that already.
I finally played it.
Okay. How
I
is
played the
it?
demo.
Yeah.
It's very good. It is very, 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 very good. I would argue that it probably will get some nominations next year for Game of Year because it's truly fantastic.
Is that the
Phenomenal
one with
writing.
the interesting characters, but they're like a police unit or something?
So it is you play as a superhero that's down on his luck, and he joins a dispatch where he is supposed to manage other superheroes to fight crime. So you are literally just finding the right hero for the job to go and fight crime in a location. The gameplay part, what I just described, I think is the weaker side of the game
Okay.
because it's fine, like it's fine. It has some randomness to it because you'll come across a crime that's occurring and you're like, okay, this person will be really good for it because they're good with their charisma and they need someone who's charismatic to, tell an inspiring speech or whatnot.
Okay.
But then, so you send them, but then another incident pops up that needed someone who was very charismatic and now you don't have them. And so you kind of have to balance your squad and make sure that you're leaving things open so that you don't, run into problems in the future. So there's some cool things there going on.
Okay.
The real meats and potatoes of it though is the actual writing and the basically cinematic storytelling that they've got. So it's a very much like a Telltale game.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you make decisions in the moment and it's incredibly well done. Like it's funny. You love the characters without I was already getting emotional with some of the characters after 3 episodes. I'm like, why am I feeling these emotions?
No.
I've only been playing for 3 hours. Like, what is this? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, like I said, fantastic voice acting, well written. I can't praise that aspect of it enough. It's very well done.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's funny how you can take one aspect of a game, like the writing or the narrative crafting, and you're like, yeah, the rest of it's cool and competent, but that part is so good that everything else is just sort of propping it up. It's just sort of a vehicle for that to be incredible. That's awesome.
I think it'll also have some really great replay value. There's a couple love interests that you can kind of choose who you want to go with. There's decisions that you're making, and it will have important ramifications on the scenes going forward. They have the classic "they will remember this" moment, where you decide on something and the characters on the top left is like, this character will remember what you just said, and they will, and it will have an impact. And I don't know by how much because I haven't finished my current playthrough, but it makes you believe, and I think it's true that there are pretty big ramifications to your choices, which is fun. So it adds from replay value.
Cool. Yeah, I did see some gameplay of it, and I thought it looked really interesting visually. Anyway, I was like, this is such a weird concept.
It's not a kid's game though. It's superheroes, but it's more like Invincible, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'll put it on my list of games to think about playing.
Yeah, because you'll see dangly bits in the first scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I said, not a kid's game.
Yeah, it's going to get banned on Steam, man, because...
I don't think so.
No, I know, but just the whole credit card companies pressuring Steam and the game platforms. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Cool, man. The grandparents took the kids for the weekend, and my wife and I just binged out on movies and relaxed and chilled. And I watched 2 movies, both very different. I watched one called Good Fortune. Have you seen that one or heard of it?
No, I haven't. I have not.
It's interesting. It's Aziz Ansari's. I don't know if it's his first movie, but he directed it. Maybe it's his directorial debut.
Oh, it's Keanu Reeves too.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves.
Seth Rogen.
Yep. It's sort of weird. It's like a combination of Scrooge and Trading Places, where basically Keanu Reeves plays a dumb angel. and he's trying to like do more as an angel, and so he's trying to like fix these lost souls, and so he switches Aziz Ansari's characters with Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen's this mogul, and Aziz is this guy who's sleeping in his car, barely scraping by a living. So he switches their spots, and then, you know, hilarity ensues, and the whole premise is like Aziz is supposed to learn that being rich is not everything, but the joke is that being rich is actually fantastic. And he's like, so the angel's just like, see, did you not learn your lesson? And he's like, this is fantastic, dude. What are you talking about? And that's more or less the premise. I thought it was cute. It was funny. Aziz, unfortunately, as an actor, has very little depth to him. And like
he's very one note.
Yes. And so it was one note Aziz for the whole movie, where you're like, you're sad now. And he's like, okay, I'll talk like this. And you're like, and now you're happy. All right, I'm still talking the same way. And you're just like, boy, that's all you got. All right. So
yep,
that was a little tough to stomach for the duration of the film, but it was kind of cute, a little depressing in that they like really hit home the notes of just how hard it is out there for people at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yep.
And then at the end, they're like, but see, we learned a lesson. I'm like, I don't know if it fully turned the corner at the end to make you feel good about it. They're like, it's a feel good movie. And you're just like, I don't know, though. You just painted society as this horrible dystopian apocalypse.
Yeah. That's my favorite trope, is the whole money doesn't make you happy. It's like, yeah, but it sure helps.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll eliminate like 90% of the stress in your life, you know?
Right.
You know, that thing that makes you unhappy.
If you don't have to worry about, you know, feeding your family, you know, shelter, all that, if all that's taken care of, then yeah, money starts to become less important. But until then, it's pretty damn important.
Yeah. It's funny because the movie tries to like basically show you the hypocrisy of that initially, where you're just like, no, money's really good. And then they try and turn that around by the end and be like, nah, see, it's these things that matter. And I'm like, I don't know if you guys succeeded in that part of the film. I think you sort of failed on that side. You're like, see, everything's back to the way it was. And you should respect these other things in life. I'm like, I don't know.
And I think that's true. I think Jim Carrey had like a quote, something along the lines is like, I wish everyone was as successful as they wanted to be. That way they could discover that money is not the end all be all. And he's right that it won't bring you happiness in the long run. There has to be more than just the success of your company or, you know, your career. There's got to be more than just the money, right? He's not wrong, but it's like, it does matter, though. It does matter.
It's like, would you rather be wealthy and not totally fulfilled, or poor and definitely not totally fulfilled?
Exactly. Right. Because it gives you time to find those fulfilling things to do.
Yeah. So that one was interesting. I wouldn't not recommend it. There's a lot of good movies out there. So if you like absolutely need like a silly film, to waste your time with, it's not bad. I then watched Roof Man. Have you heard of that one?
Roof Man.
It's a superhero.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Roof Man.
Yeah. It's actually based on a true story. It's got Channing Tatum as the lead.
Oh, I've seen advertisements for this. Yes.
It's such a bizarre concept because it's sort of like a local news story. At one point in history, it might have taken place in the 90s. I'm not sure what time it was. Maybe early 2000s. And basically this guy got famous because he broke into like 45 McDonald's by breaking through the roof. And so they called him Roof Man. And he just figured like the roofs were not well made and he could just break through them with a hammer basically, and then steal all the money out of the safes. And made a whole bunch of money doing that. But there's more to his character. He's interesting. He's like a war vet, kind of came back, wasn't able to adjust to things properly, and like went down a life of crime, but not like the typical sense. So it's interesting because he's like a really nice guy, and the people he robs, he's really nice to them, and like they show like the interviews with the real people after the movie, and they're like, it's the real interviews of them talking about what it was like getting robbed by this guy at gunpoint, essentially. And they're like,
Jesus.
Yeah, he had a rifle and stuff. And they're like, he was really nice, like he had to lock us in the freezer, but he made sure that everybody had like really warm clothes, and like he gave his jacket to people to make sure they didn't get too cold and stuff. And it's just like this really, so the movie is really, it's about him being kind of this charming character caught in a weird circumstance of life.
Sounds like the guy had some problems though that he was dealing with. He absolutely
did, and it's a bit of a tearjerker as a movie. It's got Peter Dinklage in it and Kirsten.
How does Channing
Dunst.
Tatum do?
He's incredible, to be honest, because he's like, there's a lot of scenes where he's got to like cry and like go all the way emotionally, and he's acting across from Kirsten Dunst, who's like, she's been acting since she's a child.
She's solid. She's very solid.
She's an incredible actor, very accomplished, and he's holding his own with her in a scene that requires like full on emotional range. And you're like, dang, I have to like look at this guy as different now as an actor. He has this range, this new range that I was unaware of. So it's impressive. Yeah, honestly, he makes the movie, which I think is really impressive. And then nice. Kirsten Dunst and Peter Dinklage are good supporting actors in it. And I guess the main, so one of the weirder things about the film is he breaks out of prison, and this is sort of talked about in the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling it. And then hides out in a Toys R Us for like 6 months. He just lives in one.
He just hangs out.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the weird, interesting part of the story is like he builds a life for himself while being hidden inside of a Toys R Us, and so it's sort of the narrative around that and whatnot. I thought it was really good.
Okay,
super bizarre, and it's interesting that they picked this kind of odd story about a guy and then really explored it with some depth. And you're like, yeah, they could have gone a few different ways. If they had cast the wrong guy for that, you would have been like, this guy seems like
this just doesn't work.
Yeah. But it really did. I liked it.
Nice.
I give that one a big recommendation.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? Any books, movies?
Nope.
Just game.
Super boring. You're just gaming, playing a little bit more Anno, which has been fun. Though I didn't realize that the story for that, like Act 3, just basically turns into the sandbox mode. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. But I haven't finished it yet, so I could be wrong about it. But
okay.
The first 2 acts are very story driven, and then the third act is just like, well, this is now the sandbox. Essentially, have fun.
Don't a lot of games do that where it's like you did the narrative and here's the open world that you can do some extra stuff.
They do, but it's just kind of strange to go from like 2 acts into a third act, and the third act doesn't really seem to have the through line. I don't know.
I see.
Well,
yeah, that makes sense. We're like an action RPG, you beat the last boss, and now it's like now you can do the rifts and the dungeons, and you're like, cool.
Yeah, but you usually go through the acts before that, and then now you've hit end game, right? So I don't know.
Interesting.
I have enjoyed Anno though. It's been fun.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I understand the addiction to the RTS stuff, and it's funny
not super RTS heavy, but yeah, it's.
So you'd say there's more of a focus on narrative than the.
Well, it's a city builder. I wouldn't really call it a real-time strategy.
Yeah, fair enough. It's true. The they've had naval and stuff. And how is that? Last time we talked about it, you hadn't gotten to the combat stuff as much, I don't think.
The combat is pretty basic, but it's cool that it's there, right? So I participated a little bit of. It's very basic. But I'm looking at a review right here on Steam, and the guy just says, "I just finished the campaign, and wow, what a complete letdown! The game is right in the middle of the story, and then just ends, opening with a sandbox mode with no conclusion." Yeah. Okay. So I am not the only one who is like, wait a second. They never finished the campaign. That's not a joke. The campaign just ends during Act 2. I thought my game bugged out. Yeah, okay, so I was right.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, that's very bizarre.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they literally just ran out of budget and were like, the sandbox was like meant for after the final act. And then they're like, we don't have the time or budget to finish the final act. Just transition into the
Could
sandbox.
Be. The game, other than that, has been a lot of fun though. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But it's
Gotcha.
currently sitting at mixed right now. And if if it's true that the campaign just ends, I completely understand why people are giving it a negative review, because that's kind of wild.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially when it's a game like Anno where you're like, it's so good on so many angles, and then to just drop the ball in one area that is a pretty big area. You're like, okay, that's gonna kill it.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you maxed out in Arc Raiders or no?
No, I'm like level 60.
Okay. Are you cooling off on it a bit or
a little bit, but not. I might play more of it tonight. We'll see.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, just I'm trying to gauge different people on it, because I know people who are getting into it now, and then people who have been max rank for like a week or something because they're insane.
Yeah.
And like both people are still playing it. I'm like, okay, so it's still really appealing after max rank.
There's the trials, which are fun. Getting into the trials, and though I apparently didn't get double, because you have to be a certain rank on the leaderboard to get double like the progress, or you stay the same, or you might even go down one too if you don't do any at all. I had 3 stars on every single one of them, and by the end of the week I got bumped down to the 2nd tier, so I only made it up 1 level. I was like, oh well, that's fine. I've been playing mainly solo,
and it's like I can't compete with these dude.
I can't compete with these groups who are probably farming and throwing snitches and lighting them up, and it's like I can't compete with those guys, right? So
that is the only thing I don't like about the trials, is they're easily exploitable. Because you go in, you go, hey, can you guys cover me while I do my trial? I've amassed 20 snitch scanners, and I'm just going to throw them out on a night map, kill all the snitches, and you guys just have to guard me while I kill them, so I get all the XP. And you're like, okay, well, you're just gaming the system at this point. The trial isn't specifically a reflection of somebody's skill or talent or their attempt. So,
I agree.
And the fact that there are cosmetic rewards that you get if you do well on them. And then so you're like, okay, so this is just going to go out to the person who cheeses it the hardest. It's a little unfortunate. I did see, it wasn't my intention, but I ran into a guy that was cheesing he was glitching through all the doors on the security doors that you need keys to get into on the maps. Apparently it's super easy to do it. I was on solos and he was like, hey man, can you come run behind me real quick? And I was like, put your weapon away and just run behind my character as he ran into a corner, and it pushed him through the wall. And then he got into the security room and then just opened the door and let me in. And I had heard about this, but I'd never see it happen before. And then it was so easy to do that I was like, oh crap, everybody's going to do this now.
Everyone's going to do it. Yeah.
They have to fix this.
They'll fix that stuff. They will.
Yeah. There's definitely a few exploits in it, but I have a feeling once I hit max rank, all I'm going to want to do is PvP to an extent, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. PvP is pretty fun. I am still a little disappointed that they don't award you that much for it. I do think.
I think they do that intentionally so that you will go after Arc and be more incentivized to go after Arc.
But once I guess I just
once you're max level though, why do you care about XP?
Yeah. Well, and also there's been some rounds where like I wasn't seeking the PvP, but the PvPs were seeking me.
It was seeking you though, yeah.
And you end up killing 5-6 guys and you're like, damn, that was an awesome round. And then you extract and it's like 13,000 experience. And you're like, what?
But you also got all their loot.
It's true. I got all their loot and then had to spend 10 minutes trying to dismantle everything because my freaking stash is full because of that fun mini game that you play after every successful round.
Oh yeah.
It only takes one good round to have to do that again, where you're just like, I had a great round. Give me 10 minutes, guys, while I figure what to break down and manufacture.
Have you finished your expedition?
Basically, I only have the weapons left, and I can
you can just turn them in whenever you want.
Yeah, I can sell like 5 guns and complete it. And I'm just sort of every now and then I'll put a gun into it because I'm like, I don't need this. But yeah.
Fair. Fair.
I hope the prestige or the project rather
is worth
provides it. I hope it's worth it. And I'm starting to feel like, resetting blueprints would really suck. And then also resetting the missions would really suck as well. There's probably some people out there that want to replay the missions, but dear God, I do not want to replay all those missions again. I'd rather keep the blueprints and stuff that the missions gave me, and I'll just get the rewards playing some other way, or like give you an option if you want to reset the missions.
But then why are you resetting in the first place, right? Like if you keep all your progress, why reset?
Yeah, well, some progress, some not progress. I know it's a tough one because you're like, you still have to progress the workbenches to use all your blueprints, right?
Trust me, I hear you.
Yeah.
I also at this point I'm like, these blueprints are so hard to have to find them again is going to be annoying.
Yeah,
I hear you, but at the same time, a wipe is a wipe for a reason. It's to reset your progress and start all over.
Also, how this is going to happen for sure. You're going to, before you reset, you're just going to be like, hey, I've got an extra blueprint for a hole cracker and my and a wolf pack grenade and my little grappling hook. I've saved some of my best blueprints. Here, Matt, take them and hold them for me while I reset my account, and then just give them back. Like, I don't see any way for them to stop that. So it's almost certainly going to happen.
100%.
For a ton of people. So there's already little exploits around it. So at this point, I'm like, maybe let you keep some of the blueprints, let you keep your top 10 or something. Just like avoid all the silliness that people are going to do.
They could do the Call of Duty thing where you can decide on what blueprints you want to keep, like your top 10, whatever, between rounds, right?
Yeah, that's true. Somebody mentioned that. And that's a good idea, honestly. We'll see. They got some time, and they've already patched the game once. It wasn't a balance pass, because otherwise that Venator would have seen some changes.
Would get kicked in the teeth. Yeah.
Somebody posted an image of extracting from Stella Montes, who's a PvP, like a hardcore PvPer. And he must have killed like 13 guys. And his inventory is Venator 4, Venator 4, Venator 4. It was like 10 Venator 4s in his inventory. And I was just like, dear God, if this is not a sign that one gun has become the meta for the game when you're extracting with nothing.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. Nerf the Venator 4, but really fun. Otherwise, man, I can't get enough of it. Loving Anvil shotgun, man. It's just too much fun. I really like Anvil shotgun. Just kind of best of both worlds there to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Anvil with a full suppressor on it. Oh, also, I got a Renegade off of a guy who like had it pimped out. He had like the blue extended mag and all that crap on it. Then I found an epic suppressor, put that on it. Yeah. Epic suppressor on a fully kitted out Renegade.
A whisper.
Amazing. Yeah. I was killing people and they're like, what's happening? Oh, I'm dead. And
the Renegade is phenomenal. It's in my opinion, it's better than the Anvil.
In a long range map. Absolutely. In a close range map, not so much. I lost that one on Control Tower. These guys just had it mined up, and we went up the Control Tower.
The
and
shaft.
Just waiting for it. It was like waiting forever. I'm like, I don't hear anything. All right, let's just go. 2 guys just must have been standing still for like 5 minutes with their shotguns pointed at the thing. I was like, well, you just got like one of the best guns you're ever going to get, dude. You just got a fully maxed out Renegade. I'll miss it, man. I had some good rounds with it, though. Woof. Yeah. You want to wrap up the podcast?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for dropping by the Level With Me podcast. If you want to support us more, check out our Patreon. It is linked in the video description. If you become a Patreon member, you can come watch us record the podcast live on Mondays, which is fun. And then we do a little post-podcast chat where we talk about anything that interests us and chat with you guys in the chat with you in the chat. So yeah, Check us out there if you want to support us. Otherwise, just watch us every Wednesday. Thank you for dropping by. And Matt is going to leave you with some incredibly useful advice.
So, the one thing we have is time. It's the one constant that we all share, and that means you should probably not waste that time like playing the Black Ops 7 campaign. You're welcome.
Time is relative. Just throwing that out there. But yeah. Not to be the physics nerd, but you're like, it's the one constant. It's actually relative, Matt.
I was actually saying it was the one constant that we have in terms of we all share it.
Yeah.
Not that it itself was constant. But, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty with me, that's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
I was just trying to make a funny Call of Duty bad joke, please. Jeez, come on, level cap.
I appreciate
it.
Yeah.
You should avoid the campaign. It's not worth your time.
And are you going to play multiplayer? Are we going to hear about multiplayer next podcast?
I might check out multiplayer. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Because I do like the multiplayer in Call of Duties. I had fun with the beta, but we'll see.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you guys for dropping by, and we'll catch you next podcast. Bye-bye.
Take care.